Welcome to The Practical Path, a podcast for personal and spiritual growth. Every week, another step along the path toward a more peaceful, happy life. A life where you grow into the best possible version of yourself, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Now, let's get started down the path for today. And indeed, welcome to The Practical Path, a podcast for personal and spiritual growth. This is step number 56 along the path into our second year. Bill Sklodowski here along with my friend and spiritual guru, Vicki Wagner in Blue Ridge, Georgia. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. We were just chatting. She's wearing I know you can't see it today because we don't do the video podcast. She's wearing a t-shirt with a lobster on the front that says, "Excuse me, what's the melted butter for?" That's kind of like life sometimes, isn't it? You don't realize what's coming, but there it is right in front of you.
Right there. It's one of my favorites.
Yes. What's the melted butter for? I love that. Yeah. And we're not making popcorn. So anyway, this is The Practical Path, and we are here to spread a little good cheer, give you some ideas on how to live a happier, healthier, more balanced, centered life and all that, all within the next hour. It's amazing. So anyway.
Yes. Yep.
Anything new new for you this week, or any new messages from the universe you'd like to pass along to our listeners this week?
Can't think of anything offhand. I'm sure as we get talking, something will pop up.
Come along. You've been taking care of your husband, Mr. Rick, after his recovery from surgery last week. I trust that's going well, and he's not being too much of a pain in the rear.
No, he's been a good patient. No, he's recovering very well, and so we're thankful for that. So
I think he and I are a lot alike in that when recovering from something or being sick with something, having even for the common cold for me, it's like, no, I'm going to my bedroom, I'm covering my head, and don't bother me for the next 3 days. I will be like a bear, and I will hibernate, and I will be back when I am better.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. You got to do that, because if you push it, you might have some problems. So
True.
It's good that, and I've kind of been babysitting him because, he's a guy. Well,
I know he's a guy. Yes.
He's a guy, that he can't sit still. And so I kind of had to hover over him to go, okay, we're not going to be picking that up, or, let the dog go out by itself, Mother hen.
All right. So there are some things you need to babysit for. Okay. Yeah. That's good. Yeah. Well, and for all of our friends and listeners out there who are giving care to someone, thank you for your service and all of that. So
yes. Yes.
I'm not the best with giving or receiving of care. I don't know what it is. I just like I said, I'll just go hibernate for a few days. Yeah. And I mentioned that as we record this, of course, you and I record this podcast on a Tuesday morning. After editing and uploading and all the process, it comes out on a Thursday morning. And when on Thursday morning, as you are listening to this podcast, I will probably be somewhere in a surgical suite in Gainesville having this eye taken care of after 5 months of having
that's a long time.
Having this vision issue.
Yeah.
5 months ago, I had surgery I don't know if it was, they do poke stuff in your eye, and it was weird, but thankfully not painful, where they basically laser beamed the retina of the eyeball back onto it's like the wallpaper was peeling on the back of my eyeball. And that wallpaper was the stuff that actually let me see the world.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so as part of the procedure, they replace some of the fluid in your eye with a different kind of a stuff that helps to hold things in place and do healing and whatever. I don't know the whole process, and I never will, and I don't need to. But for the last 5 months, my left eye has basically been as fuzzy as, like they always used to say, staring through the bottom of a Coke bottle, for those of you who remember glass Coke bottles.
Yes.
That was at the Wayback Machine. So one eye, perfect. Right eye, perfect. Left eye, fuzzy as hell. And put together, I can see, I see to drive. I'm fine with all of that. And yet
Good.
I do know sometimes when I'm working on the computer, I'll have to lean in and stare at the
Mm.
text or something or whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, all that brings us to this point where now they go in and they take the old fluid out and they
Hmm.
just put in like a saline solution, like they put into your blood or whatever. I don't know. And the doctor says, "Oh, your body will replace it." And I'm kind of like, "Well, why didn't it replace what's already in there?" This is over my head. This is why he's got 10 years of education and I have
Yeah.
none. So this is where it's time to trust the process, as they say.
Yes. And I'm sure you have a very good doctor
He is. He's very good. Yes, Dr.
written down.
H, because nobody can pronounce his long Indian last name,
Oh,
something or other. No, really. I mean, literally, if you call his office, it's like even the ladies that, well, I shouldn't say lady, but even the assistants that answer the phone or whatever, it's all Dr. H's office. It's like, yeah,
oh
okay.
my God.
Everybody knows him that way.
Hey, as long as he's good and he does a good job on your eye,
Thank you.
he could, whatever he's
So
doing, that's fine.
we are setting that intention. And again, as
Yes.
you listen to this podcast, I will probably be flat on my back in a surgical suite somewhere. So
Yeah.
there you go. So yeah.
Yeah.
So my lesson again, once again this week, trust the process, trust the timing of the universe and all of that to make sure that you don't try and rush it. You don't try to, learn a little patience. Damn it.
Oh, how do you even spell it?
I have no idea. I have no idea. That's what ChatGPT is for, to help me with all that stuff.
There you
So
go.
yeah, to figure all that out.
Oh,
So
good.
anyway, that's where I'm at. And
Mhm.
and one other thing, and because I want to mention this early in the show in case we have some people who don't, I can't imagine why you wouldn't stick around to the end, but if you don't stick around to the end, that my friend Vicky did a reading for a friend of mine this week and had a wonderful time and all of that. And my friend who had the card read, do you still call it a reading? Do you still, what do you call it?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
a
reading.
reading
Hmm.
where you use your oracle cards
Yes.
and it's a wonderful experience. And my friend who I made a point to not tell Miss Vicky too much about my friend in terms of her background or issues or whatever. And I made a point not to tell my friend too much about how Miss Vicky operated and all that, other than to say, "Oh, you'll love it. It'll be great." And it was, and she did.
Oh, thank
So
you.
yeah.
She's lovely.
So literally after the fact, we're sitting having lunch after you and her did the meeting via a Zoom call,
Right?
which you can do. And my friend is saying, "Did you tell her about? Did you tell her about this? Did you tell her about that? Little parts of her background or in her childhood life that
Right.
you picked up on and told her about, and it's not like details like, oh, when you were 13 you fell off a horse and you did whatever. No, but the big things, the big issues that appear in people's lives,
Hmm.
apparently that's something that just show up for you. Who knew? I knew. I'm
Yeah.
just kidding around,
Hmm.
of course, but
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah. I just feel things, sense things. And as I tell people, I just listen to the voices in my head.
I think before we go too far, I do want to say that this is something you do for people all the
Oh, yeah.
time,
Yes.
and that it's something that you enjoy and they get a lot of, and your
Oh,
people that you
I
do it
love
for
it.
get a lot of benefit out of, in terms of helping them see life from with the bigger picture, see the
Yes.
50,000 foot view, pick your number there, whatever.
Right.
And so I did want to mention right off the top that if somebody else might be interested in that, how would they get in touch with you, please?
Well, thank you. They can call
Yes.
or text 239-248-0586, or you can email me at Vicky, Vicki, Wagoner, Wagoner 53 at gmail.com.
There you go. And we will call that in the show notes, but I wanted to felt the need to get that out there early in the show this week because we
So,
did have a good example of how you
yeah.
were able to help help how you were
Yes.
able to show somebody a few things that they might want to incorporate into their lives. I don't know.
Mhm.
That's an interesting question. What do they do with the things that you that you give them, that you tell them, that the insights that you give? What I had an old friend in the spiritual circles that would hear something amazing and go, "Where do I put that?" It's like that little bit of information. What do you do with that kind of stuff after hearing from someone like you?
Well, it's up to them. They have a choice to listen to it and follow it and shift their perspective on it, or just say, oh, okay, and let it go. I do my job of giving them the information
Right.
and giving them, different insight and different perspectives. And once that happens, it's up to them if they want to, act on what comes up, and what is spoken of. Because a lot of times I don't know these people, yet I feel things and sense things about them
Right.
that, obviously the universe feels it's important that they know. So I deliver and they have to put it into action.
So it can be just as simple as well, I shouldn't say simple, but it's because for some people it's not that simple. A change of, one of our favorite words, a change of perspective about
Mhm.
how you look at things.
Right.
And then hopefully you can and again, one of my favorite lines, hopefully you get to make a different decision about how you
Yeah.
react to things in life.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of it too is looking at your past and realizing how much did you learn from it? Instead of looking at the pain of it, how much did you learn from it?
Right.
Because I work with a lot of people that are wounded. And I myself was wounded as a child, and so that's how I got into this. Um, so looking at it from the different perspective of, well, what was going on in their life that maybe, they couldn't handle. So lots of times people project it onto somebody else because they
Hmm.
can't handle it. They don't know what to do with it. So if you can step back and see the bigger picture of it and look at who are you now because of that, and if you need to forgive, to, let go, or, just say, okay, I've learned this lesson. That's what's really important because it's about how you can change your life. You can't change anybody else. You can inspire them,
Right.
but they have to make the change.
I do, and I think this is something we talked about on the show a long time ago, but I'll repeat it because it's worth repeating. And that to me is a lot of this process, a lot of what I hear you doing, and because I know that because you've done it with me and we have done this work together for me and I've heard you talk about it with others. A lot of it is a process of subtraction,
Yeah.
of letting go of things that no longer work for you.
Yes.
It's like you've been carrying this thing around since you were 6 or 10 years old,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
and the burden hasn't changed. It has. I mean,
Hey, it's Bill
you
stepping
still
out of the
remember it
studio
like
for
it
a
was
quick
yesterday.
second. On the
Even though
podcast,
it was
one of the
50
things
years
we talk
ago.
about
Oh, yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
is
And maybe
motivation.
you want
the
to
desire to
again,
get things
it's
done
a
in
subtraction.
life.
Let
It
go
might
of
be
that
physical
and just
stuff,
simply say,
losing
all
a
right,
few
I'm gonna do
pounds,
something
getting a
different.
better
I'm not
job,
gonna work
finding
on
a
that
great
thing.
relationship.
Right.
Or
And
it
if you
might be
have the
more of what
opportunity
I like to
to
call
talk with that
internal
person
things,
that maybe,
finding
a
ways to feel
parent or
better
a
about
friend or
yourself or life in general.
whoever, to sit
Well, to
down with
help our
them and
listeners
just have a
along that
conversation
particular
about it. And
path,
that's,
we've prepared a helpful,
like
simple guide for
I've
personal
said
motivation.
before,
It's
is
called
where,
Flipping the Switch,
I
How to Create
confronted my dad
Motivation
when
at a
he was
Moment's
older,
Notice.
and
I'd like to
he's the
send you
one
a free
that
copy,
said, thank
along
you,
with
to
some other
help me see
special
my life
bonus
from a
goodies.
different perspective.
Bonus, you say?
Yes.
Well, yes.
And that's
Kind of
why
an
I say,
unadvertised in-store special.
perspective,
What is
because
it?
it was
Well, you'll just
found
have to
that,
find out for yourself.
he heard
So,
me
do this.
and he
Head over to
honored
the
me
website,
and he respected what I had to say and the courage that I had to confront him.
www.thepracticalpathpodcast.com. Yep, the same name as the podcast
And even
itself.
if it
Put
if
in
it
your
doesn't
email and
turn
we'll
out that way.
immediately send you to
honestly,
the free
yours
download.
sounds like something
We'll also
out of
let you
out
know
of a
about
movie, out of a
upcoming
really,
podcast
in a
episodes
good way,
and
right?
other
I mean, it
behind
really
the
does.
scenes
I mean, you
information.
finally, after all these
Again,
years,
just
talked
head
to your
over
father,
to the
and lo and
website,
behold, he thanked you
www.thepracticalpathpodcast.com,
for what you had given to him.
and get your
Yes.
free guide to boosting your
It
personal
might not
motivation.
be that
I'm
way
sure you'll
for
find it
everybody,
helpful
and
and,
that's
dare I
okay.
say,
Yes,
practical.
That's okay.
Now, back to the show.
You need to know, you don't need to know. You will find out that some people
Yeah.
are still stuck in their stuff, but you
Yeah.
don't have to stay stuck with them.
Exactly. And if you can step back, look at the bigger picture, have empathy for, well, what did they go through as a child? And yet they didn't have the courage or the strength to look at it, to shift it, to have compassion for them. Doesn't mean you have to be best friends or anything, but being the bigger person
Right.
and seeing, they're still struggling. Okay, maybe they're in their 80s or 90s or, 50s or whatever, but they're still struggling. They still have that little child inside, and it's the little child who's hurting.
Right.
So to have, like I said, have the courage, have the compassion, have the faith of looking at that from that different perspective will change your life.
Yes. That's the important part. That
Mhm.
what you do will change your life for the
Oh,
better. It may not
absolutely.
feel like it. It's kind of like Bill with his eye. It doesn't feel like it's for the better just yet. But I've come through this process for 5 months now, and by the end of the week, or by the next time you hear from me, hopefully it will be a change for the better. Yes, yes,
Absolutely. And it's just taking action. And sometimes it's baby steps. Sometimes you leap off the cliff, But it's anything that you can do to start shifting that so you become who you truly are versus hiding or being afraid.
Mm, I think that's a good yes. A lot of people are still either or hiding, or are still afraid of something that happened to them, or something they think happened to them
Mhm. Mhm.
a long, long time ago, and they've been living with that fear, guilt, whatever it is that they have.
Yeah,
And you know what? It may not have even been like that. It might just be the way you remember it.
right. Yeah,
So there's always the opportunity, as we say, to make a different decision and see things from a different perspective.
absolutely. It's very powerful.
Love that.
And that's why I love working with people because I have gone through a lot in my life and I can easily, connect with people and I can feel it. I just just who I am, I just feel things and I know things and things will just come out of my mouth that, and I love it when they say, "Do you remember when you said this?" And I go, "No, because it's for you and I'm glad you remember it."
Right, right. One of the, just to put a bow on all of this, one of the things we talk about a lot is that, I think that information is out there. I think the way we move through this world, I think I don't know, it just feels to me like it's all out there and all available, and all, I mean, a lot of the people in the spiritual business will say, oh yes, that's the some kind of records or some kind of cosmic, hard drive that stores all this information and everything. It doesn't matter to me what you call it. It doesn't matter
Right,
what name you give it.
right.
It just seems to me that a lot of that information is out there, and folks like you who have made a practice out of this are a little more in tune with it. And as you're sitting with someone, and again, you did the reading for my friend via a Zoom call, as you do most of them nowadays. Sometimes
Yeah,
you're face to face, but it doesn't matter,
yep,
again, because that information is everywhere.
right.
That when you hear something or feel something or whatever, you have the confidence, the whatever, to just say it. To just say,
Yep,
because I mean, think of how many times, and I'm talking to our friends and listeners now, think of how many times you'll be with a friend and they will say something, or they will ask you something, or maybe they don't even have to ask. Maybe they just walk into the room and you go, oh, you had a bad day at work, or, you had a bad day or a
right,
great day, or you had another fight with your kids or your spouse. What, those things, you don't even have to ask anymore. But do we say anything about it? Generally not. Generally, we kind of like, we feel that, or we think of something, or something will, like you said, the voices in your head are kind of a thing. That's not weird. That's not creepy. That's not bad. That's you picking up on the information that's out there in the universe.
yep.
I think for folks like you, Vicki Wagner, the gift is you have the ability to say it. or you don't have the filters to not say it.
Yeah, it's probably more like it.
Either way, it's a gift, because
No, it's
you're
it's
giving something to somebody
yeah,
that they hadn't thought of in the past, or maybe they had thought of but didn't have the courage to admit to it.
right. Yeah.
And so because of that, now their their burden is a little lighter, or
Oh,
hopefully maybe
yes.
completely light, because you're like, oh yeah, I hear, I see what you're doing. I hear what you're going through. I understand it. Here's something you might want to try. As we always say, a different perspective on things. I know,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That was an interesting 20 minutes, but it was worth it because this is
Yeah.
kind of like what this whole show is all about, which
Yes.
is the idea that you're not stuck with anything that you may have
Mhm.
brought from childhood or brought even from a week ago. It doesn't matter,
Right.
you none of that is carved in stone. None of that you are stuck with. You always have the ability. And again, thank you to our old friend Louise Hay,
Yes.
who always said you have the ability to make in this moment right now. You always have the ability to make the decision about what you're gonna think, what you're gonna do, what you're gonna say, what you're gonna whatever, and then
Yeah.
do that moving forward.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
I love her work. Definitely. Yeah.
this was just in as we record this, just this past week or something was the anniversary of her passing. And I
Oh,
didn't know this, but and I could look it up. Maybe we'll take a break and I'll look it up.
okay.
I didn't know this, but she and our other friend, Wayne Dyer, passed on the same day, 3 years apart.
Oh my gosh. I
I
didn't
know, right?
know
Kind
that.
of
Oh
weird.
goodness.
I got an email from her publishing company.
Oh,
I'm on
okay.
the email list for Hay
Mhm.
House Publishing. They're
Mm.
a book
Mhm.
publisher and podcast. They do everything. So anyway,
Yeah.
I got an email from them noting that passing of time. There you go. So
Wow.
I know, crazy stuff, crazy.
Okay. Very connected.
Well, as we move along, I wanted to, and I think what we'll end up doing, I think we'll just take our break a little early here because I have an article, and again, I'm into this habit of finding cool, interesting articles that will be helpful to us and our listeners.
Yeah, we do.
And today, hats off to a young man, Nick Wignall, because this is from your blog, Nick, and I will give you credit for it. Who you are a clinical psychologist and founder of the newsletter, The Friendly Mind. How can you not love The Friendly
Oh,
Mind?
friend, I like that.
Yes, yes. So anyway, Nick wrote an article for his blog called Emotional Strength Training.
Oh,
I know, you go to the gym, you pick up weights, you do strength training. Well, this one is called emotional strength training.
yep.
And he's got a handful of things that we can do to become more emotionally strong, which I love
Yes.
that.
Yes.
I think what we'll do is we'll take a quick break now and then we'll come back and that'll give us plenty of time to talk about that. So
Okay, that sounds
that's
great.
good. Stay where you are, go refill your coffee, do whatever you need to do. We will be right back. Okay, we're back. This is The Practical Path, a podcast for personal and spiritual growth. Bill Sklodowski, Vicki Wagner here with you as always, and we appreciate you being with us. By the way, if you are enjoying what you hear, wherever you pick up this podcast, wherever you do your podcasting, well, no, you're not doing podcasting, you're listening to podcasting. Wherever you listen, doesn't matter. Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube Music, does not matter. Feel free to stop by. Leave your comments and leave a 5-star review for us. We would appreciate it. And as always, you can find this show and other folks' comments and questions and things on our Facebook page. Just do a search for The Practical Path Podcast, and you will find our page. And you can tell it's our page because it has that cool picture of like the forest path.
Oh,
Path,
it's so
get
pretty.
it? Path. So it's all good.
It's
So anyway,
very,
5 questions, comments, leave them all. We love it. Appreciate it. Thank you so
yes.
much. So I was talking about this article from this guy Nick Wignall, clinical psychologist. Yes, and the article is called "Emotional Strength Training." Emotional
Mm,
strength training. I love
yeah,
that. And
I like that. Yep.
his point is, and his big kind of summary or takeaway, and we'll get into the details of it, is that as he says, pain is not the enemy. And he's talking all kinds.
Mm.
Pain is not the enemy, whether it's a sore leg from jogging all morning or racing thoughts in your head
Oh,
or a heavy heart for something emotional that went on. Pain
Right.
is a messenger. It is pointing you towards something deeper that needs strength, not just relief.
Mm,
So, yes. So instead of asking something like, how do I get rid of this? You might instead think, what is this pain trying to teach me? And what
yeah.
muscle,
Hmm.
physical or emotional, needs to
Yes.
get stronger here? I love that. Physical or
Yes.
emotional. Right.
Definitely.
So, point number one. And by the way, if you are interested in this, I will, of course, as always, post the link to this blog post in the show notes. So
Yeah.
wherever we just mentioned Apple or whatever wherever you get your podcast, it'll be there. Number one, pain is not always where the problem is. For a
Mm.
year, that's this Nick is talking about, I had a persistent pain in my left leg whenever I tried to run a little bit more. I'm a jogger at heart. I tried resting, stretching, new shoes, orthotics, ice, heat, you name it. I tried it all, but the pain always came back. Finally, a physical therapist told me the problem was not actually with the leg at all. It was a weakness in the other leg that was causing his body to overcompensate, which led to the pain on the left side, even though the right side was the one with the problem. He says, basically, this blew my mind, completely reframed how I thought about both physical and emotional struggles. The bottom line
Mm,
then became the problem that you feel is often not the real problem,
interesting. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I can see that now. I'm not a jogger or a runner or a weightlifter or any of those things, but I understand what he's talking about.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
which is interesting that I read that. I'm like, I play pickleball twice a week or sometimes three, and I'm left-handed, so I'm holding the pickleball pedal in my left hand, but it's my right side of my back that hurts a little bit this morning. Now it's going to make me think about that too.
Yeah.
The issue though is the pain, the frustration, the whatever that we're going through is not, that might not be the real thing. That might not be actually what it is. Because I mean, think of all the
Mhm.
emotional stuff that you have helped people with, including yourself over the years.
Right.
You feel some things, but it's like, okay, is that really it? Or is it more something is just kind of like crying out and getting
Yeah.
your attention?
That's what I was going to say. It's getting your attention.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's something that we just mentioned Louise Hay a few minutes ago. That's something that
Right.
she was huge on.
Mhm.
In fact, if you get her book, You Can Heal Your Life, which
Yeah.
find it at your local book sale somewhere for $1. In the back, there's a whole big long list of
Yeah.
physical ailments and how they manifest themselves.
Hmm.
Which way does it work? I forget. It's like this hurts, but actually it means that you're actually feeling this or something else in your mental state or something like that.
Yeah, because it's getting your attention. And you got to go, okay, well, what did I do? Did I twist or do this or that? Or is there something that you've been thinking about and you just kind of push it away? So what does your body do? Go, wait a minute, you got something to look at. So let's get your attention.
Right. You and I had an old friend in our spiritual circles back when we both lived in South Florida. I'm thinking of you, Jerry, who always used to say, the universe will get your attention.
Oh, yeah.
And it will start with a tap on the shoulder. It will start with that little angel on your shoulder going, hey, hey, Bill, hey. And if you don't pay attention to that, okay, now he comes around with a 2x4 and whacks you over the head.
And you go, what?
What? I didn't know that was coming. Well, you kind of did, but you just weren't paying attention.
You weren't
Right.
paying attention.
Right. So and I believe that to be true. I believe that is true. That is, as if there's something that needs our attention, that again
Mhm.
we should be
Oh,
giving
yeah.
some attention to the universe. And again, you can pick whatever God or angel or the force. You can. It doesn't
Oh, yeah.
matter. It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
That organizing force of the universe, whatever you choose to believe it to be, will use bigger and bigger sticks to get your attention.
Oh, I've had a few of those.
Yes, right?
Oh, yeah.
Until you finally just one day, like,
Well,
bring this upon anybody, but something drastic or dramatic or painful will happen, and you will
oh,
go, where
yeah.
the hell did that come from? Well, we've
Yeah.
been trying to get your attention about this thing all
Mhm.
along. And
Yep,
you
they're
can,
going to tap your shoulder and then they're going
yeah,
to, okay,
yeah,
well, let's
little
a
stuff.
nose or here's the baseball bat.
Right, right. So basically, this is, and again, you know, you have just if you're just paying attention a little bit, it's not like you have to be a monk or anything like that.
Oh,
It's not
no,
like you have to live in solitude or whatever. You live
no.
your own daily life, but when you get an inkling about something, when you get a
Yeah.
feeling of something, you might want to stop and pay a little bit more attention to it just to
Oh,
see. And you can, by the way, you can ask, right?
oh, yeah, absolutely.
You can you can stop and sit for a minute. All right, here's Bill sitting in his office chair with his cup of coffee, and he's thinking to himself, "Gee." And this, by the way, this actually happened last night. Oh, you should have been in the apartment last night.
Oh,
There were some words that oh, when I was taking some laundry out of the wash machine
oh,
and I stubbed my toe. Of course, it's always your
wow.
little toe that finds the corner of the wall.
Yeah. Oh, hate that. Like,
Oh, all right. So maybe was that a message from the universe? I don't know. I'm not so sure that it was. I think it was just yours truly being clumsy, but you never know. So my point is take 2 minutes, sit down you don't even have to
yep,
sit. Do whatever you want. Get
yep,
comfy,
yep.
get quiet for a minute, and you
Mm,
can literally ask. You can say, all right,
yeah,
this happened, or I'm thinking this, or I'm feeling this, or
right.
somebody said this. It doesn't, however the information comes to you. I'm rambling here, but I think it's a point. You can ask, you can go, tell me more about that.
Yeah. And you can say, give me some signs because if you're watching TV or you're reading a book or, listening to the radio, it's like all of a sudden there's like a message that comes in and you're like, oh, that's what I needed to hear or that's what I needed to read or something, like that. So it's all over us. It's just being aware that the universe is always supporting us, always encouraging us and just taking that quiet time to sit quiet or to pay attention when something pops up, you go, whoa, that seems appropriate. Let me, follow up on that. And because I get that a lot, like I'll be reading along like in a book and I'm going, oh my gosh, that's what I needed to hear, that's what I
Right.
needed to see. Yeah.
Sometimes it's not all that direct, where,
No,
like
not
you said,
always.
you might read something and go, oh my gosh, I've been waiting for that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you might read something and go, that seems like it kind of applies to me for this one thing.
Right. Yeah.
That's where you can take the time to literally to ask.
Yes. Hmm.
Ask the universe in a quiet moment. I don't care if you're doing it while you're sitting in the bathroom. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Just,
That's an interesting thought. But anyway, just take a moment to ask
yeah.
and then shut up and listen.
Listen and follow through on it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the
Mm-hmm.
universe actually knows what we need to do. And sometimes we get ourselves so, strung up and backwards and everything that sometimes, like you said, sitting in the bathroom, it's just you and in the bathroom. It's that quiet time when they can get your attention.
Right. Right.
Or,
Right.
taking a walk out into, the woods. The woods are full of messages,
Oh,
full of
sure.
peacefulness, and the calming, so
I love it. Yes.
yeah.
Whatever it is for you, wherever you can be
Yeah.
quiet for
Yep.
literally just a minute, just to
Yeah.
sit and just to ask and then take a moment to receive an answer or at least a little more information. Okay, cool. So that's number one. By the way, pain isn't always where the problem is, and we've kind of gone off on all the different ways you can think about that and you can hear an answer. Number two is the concept of relief versus strength. Interesting. Most of
Hmm.
us respond to pain, physical or emotional, by chasing relief. We want the quick fix.
Oh,
Rest,
yeah.
medicine, stretch, supplements, coping mechanisms, you name it, whatever it is. And while these can feel good for a short while, they don't address the real issue.
Mm,
Again, my physical therapist's case with my leg problem was simple but profound. 9 times out of 10, the solution is not relief, it is strength. In other
mm,
words, long term healing comes not from soothing the pain in the moment, but from identifying the weakness that's causing it and working on that instead to make that stronger,
yes.
which really, when you think about it, is what we talk about a lot here, which is not so much thinking about, oh, I had this frustrating thing or I had this thing that happened to me. I'm not going to think about that. I'm going to push that away. I'm going to stuff that somewhere where I don't have to see it again until it rears its ugly head again.
Yeah.
Better to strengthen that
Yeah.
psychological muscle a little bit and
Yeah.
get past that, or no longer have the need to do anything about it because you have
Right.
strengthened it and you are better.
Right. Yeah, because you addressed it, you took it on and you said, okay, I'm willing to look at it. I'm willing to see how can I change it? How can I, enrich it?
Mm-hmm.
So it's all kinds of choices, yet you got to take that moment to do that, to
Yes.
make that commitment to yourself for yourself.
Yes. And whether that's, like we've said, for the physical stuff, whether that's going to the gym or walking your 10,000 steps a day, what I don't,
Yeah.
10,000 is a lot, whatever, or the emotional, spiritual, psychological work of just thinking about it and just
Right.
being aware of what's going on.
Yes.
Because I think the awareness of knowing what's happening, that's such an important, I mean, that's half the battle right there. Just
Yeah.
knowing what's happening, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And the courage to look at it.
Right, right. So anyway, the the don't confuse. Now this is very similar. We talked about relief versus strength, building up the thing that needs the strength rather than just trying to take an aspirin and so it doesn't hurt anymore. Number
Right.
three, don't confuse symptoms with problems. Again, the left leg pain was not the true problem, it was a symptom. In the same way, emotional pain is often a symptom, not the root cause. Take
Mm.
therapy or medication as example. Someone might feel temporary relief from depression after a supportive session or maybe even a Xanax for a panic attack, but the issues then come back later, sometimes even stronger. Why is this? Because those interventions are treating the symptom without addressing the deeper underlying weakness. The key insight: symptoms point us toward the real problem, but they're not the problem themselves. Again, all related to, like as he said, as a jogger, one leg was causing him pain, and in
Yeah.
our life, in our personal lives and our spiritual lives and our whatever,
Mhm.
the thing that's bugging you, that's, I mean, you talk about that all the time, and I just want to remind people of that. The small thing, the small, big thing, whatever, that's bothering you is a sign of unfinished business somewhere else with something else.
Yes. Again, trying to get your attention, to pay attention to it. And when you have to look at it, you got a choice. You can look at it and throw it away, or it'll come back, or go, what can I do about this?
Right. Like we said, the universe will start off with the tap on the shoulder and eventually you
Kick in the pants.
kick in the pants. I don't want to, put anything big out there, but I'm saying, yeah, it's something
It
big,
will. Oh,
something big.
yeah. Yeah.
And again, it's not, all of that is the symptom, the thing
Yeah.
that's like getting your attention, but it's not the thing itself. So,
Right. Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
where somebody like you can help somebody with that as well. Or you can ask a friend, or you can do
Oh,
it
yeah.
yourself if you want to do a little journaling or something like that we've talked
Yeah.
about. Yeah.
Yeah. Journaling is very good too.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Number four, emotional. This is interesting. Emotional struggles are all about what I call weak skills. Now, skills,
Oh,
I know you're going, what, Bill? What do you mean? Okay.
yeah.
So the author gives us several examples from coaching and therapy sessions. For example, anxiety often comes from a weak skill of assertiveness.
Oh,
Okay, all right, now we're getting somewhere. People
okay.
who can't or won't set boundaries, people who say yes to
Mhm.
everything out of fear of conflict, eventually become overwhelmed with stress, which manifests as worry and anxiety. Wow, really?
Yes.
All
Yeah.
I have to do is learn how to say no?
Hmm. Yeah.
Maybe,
And it's okay.
right?
It's okay
Right.
to say no.
Here's another one. Depression often points to confusion about values.
Oh.
If you've been living according to other people's goals and not your
Oh.
own, over time,
Yeah.
that disconnect creates a feeling of emptiness and even sadness.
Hmm.
Wow. And I,
Because Well, it's kind of like you're making everybody else happy. Well,
right?
what about you?
Right? Exactly. Right. If you've been living according to other people's goals and not your own. And that's, I think I said that, I read that, and I kind of went, that's one of the things that I'm going to sit with later on today. I really am, because I have that. I'm not going to say I'm depressed, but I do say I don't have a clear, maybe a clear understanding of my own goals and my own intention at this point in my life.
Right. And also, what are you deserving of?
Right.
What do you want? What will really make you happy or, motivate you?
Hmm.
So looking,
Interesting.
here we go, and I say it a lot. This is about you being your own best friend because you're wonderful with everyone else. Look a little closer and go, am I doing the same for myself?
We're 40 minutes into the show. It took you that long to get to your own best friend?
Oh, what's wrong? I must be off.
But really, I mean, that's one of the real foundational stones of this path that we are walking, is the ability to be your own best friend and to be able to say, hey, wait a minute, what am I doing for me on not to the exclusion of others, not to be a pain in the butt, not to be selfish or whatever, and yet still to have your own goals, intentions, desires, whatever.
Because if you're happy, that happy energy is going to go out to other people. So, what we do for ourselves, how we honor ourselves, take care of ourselves, is then shared with others just simply by walking by them. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean you have to give them a big lecture, but, showing up authentic, showing up happy, showing up feeling secure and strong, people are going to go, oh, wow, well, they can do it. Maybe I can too.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right.
So,
Last but not least, he mentions with about weak skills when it comes to emotional things. He mentions insomnia, which is an interesting one, because I always thought, oh, it's just I can't sleep. Insomnia is often less about bad sleep hygiene and more
oh,
about weak attentional control. Interesting term.
oh,
If your mind is spinning with worries at night that keep you awake, the skill you might need is the ability to redirect your focus and tolerate uncertainty.
mm,
Ah, yeah. Each tolerate uncertainty. Remember, each emotional struggle we talk about and so many more are basically a red light flashing that says you need to strengthen this skill. No kidding. No
oh,
kidding.
yeah, that's a good one.
I
Yeah,
know. I know.
these are
That's
good.
true. If I can go to bed at night knowing that I did what I could today, and tomorrow I've got this, and this, and that, it doesn't need any more thought. It doesn't need any more. I don't need to hatch. The friend that you did the reading for that we mentioned earlier on in the show, I asked her one morning, I'm like, how did you sleep last night? You text back and forth and all that. Hope you had a good sleep. She goes, I was awake all night. I'm like, oh dear, what happened? She said, my mind was spinning about trying to remember a recipe.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, really? Really? That's what kept you awake? She goes, yeah, my mother made it this way and my grandmother made it this way. And I'm thinking, and I'm like, wow. Wow.
Wow.
But still, okay.
No, it's
Could you
really
have
scary.
simply made the decision that I'll look it up in the morning? Now I get it.
Yes,
There
yes.
is some, I guess that's the emotional strength, or that he was speaking of, that he writes about, and that's the ability to make the decision and then have it like stick. It's
Yes.
like, okay, I'm going to think about that in the morning. I don't need to think about that now. And then what happens when it pops up again? What happens when it comes back to your brain? I'm not sure I know that, but maybe if you simply keep reminding you, and you talk about that, and lots of people talk about that in meditation, that if
Yes.
you sit quietly, thoughts are
Hmm.
going to come up. Things are going to pop into your mind, and you're going to, oh, damn, I'm not meditating. I'm thinking about washing the car, or, buying the dog food, or damn, I'm not thinking. Those thoughts are going to come up. I
Yeah.
think the skill, I mean, wrong word. I think the practice, that's the word, because they call it a practice of meditation. I think
Yeah.
the practice is simply saying, all right, that thought, now it's done. We're done with that. On to the next, on to whatever, whatever. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's all, Crazy, crazy stuff. Anyway, emotional struggles are about weak skills. So, is there a skill set that you need to improve to help you with some of these emotional struggles? And maybe that's something you talk to a friend or a therapist or a whatever, or, Miss Vicky about, or who, it doesn't matter. All good. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So, number 5, weaknesses have this bad habit of staying on each other.
Oh.
Sometimes, yeah, right? Sometimes the trail we walk is not straightforward. Sometimes, as the author has spoken about, the pain was caused by the pain in the left leg caused by a weakness in the right leg, but the right leg weakness itself might have been a weakness in the foot or the ankle or the whatever. And once you work on one thing, the pain will start to disappear. Emotions work the same way. Insomnia, like we just talked about, might come from anxiety, but that anxiety might come from weak boundaries and fear of conflict, and et cetera, et cetera. Pain sticks around, pain stacks up until you get to the real source, which is why finding the underlying weakness is so important. And that's what we keep talking about here, finding what it really is that is causing you the trouble. Yeah.
And probably a good way too to look at it is to write it down, because it's right
Yes.
in front of you, it's black and white, and it's right there. So you don't have to go, well, is it this, is it that, and which boggles up your mind. So making a list of things,
Right.
that maybe, you think are bothering you, and then, taking a deep breath and, maybe a little glass of wine and
No,
and go
I
and, just because it kind of, mellows you out a little bit, and then looking at it going, okay, well, why is this really bothering me? Or is this somebody else's that I'm carrying because I'm worrying about them or something? So if it's right there, you look at it and it's a statement, and instead of it being all jumbled up in your mind, it's right in front of you. And
yes.
I do that a lot. I'll write things down, to get it out of my head, and it's on paper, and then I can step back from it. And when I'm ready, look at it and, put the pieces together.
I have tried, and this is just my experience, and maybe you've got some wisdom on that. My experience with writing things down is that I can do that, but then
Mhm.
I never go back and look at it. I never go back to it. I'm like, I, I, I don't know why. I guess I'm hesitant or
Yeah.
willing or whatever. I don't, it's like, okay, I can write down exactly what I'm going. And it's interesting you mentioned that, because the last point that he has, and I think we'll just skip ahead to that, is about writing things down. So
Yeah.
we'll get to that. So, well, let me just jump to that and then we can talk about it a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
So, a practical exercise, this is his last point, a practical exercise to reframe struggles. The
Hmm.
author suggests, fill out this sentence. Quote, I really struggle with blank, usually an emotion, because we're talking about emotional strength. I really struggle with blank emotion, which might be trying to tell me I need to strengthen my ability to blank, a
Right.
specific skill or an action. This is powerful because it shifts the focus away from relief and it builds more strength. It's
Yes.
towards strength building rather than taking the aspirin or the whatever, right? To do that.
Right. Yeah.
So, for example, I really struggle with anger, which might be telling me I need to strengthen my ability to adjust unrealistic expectations of people.
Yes.
I really
Yeah.
struggle with sadness or loneliness, which might be telling me I need to strengthen my ability to be vulnerable and others to care for me.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Yes.
I really struggle with perfectionism. Oh, I have my hand up there. I really
Yeah.
struggle with perfectionism, which might be telling me I need to strengthen my ability to practice self compassion. This
Hmm.
framing makes emotional struggle an invitation to grow rather than something to avoid.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
That's a good one. Very much. Yeah.
I think so too. And I think that's I like that because for starters, it's easier. I like having a framework for something,
Yes.
a fill in the blank framework to
Yeah.
make it a
Yeah.
little easier for yours truly, who sometimes is like, okay, I have a blank piece of paper and a pencil. What do I write? I don't know.
Just start
So
writing.
just man, you always say that. Just start writing.
Just start writing. Just say, today is,
Yeah.
whatever the day.
Interesting.
I woke up and, felt this, and because it's just getting it going. It's like, starting to ride a bicycle, like you're scared to death, because you've never been on it and it's this big thing. And you just do a couple little pedals and you jump off. Well, the next thing you know, you're going to go a little bit further and a little bit further. So it's just knowing that you have, just write anything down and it doesn't matter what it is because that's just getting, the motor going, so to speak.
Right. Right. All right. So, all right, if I do write something down, then what am I doing with that? I mean, physically, literally, what am I doing with that piece of paper, with that page? Am I stashing it away somewhere and coming back to it, setting a reminder to come back to it in a week? What do you
Leave
think?
it, well, leave it out somewhere where you can see it, like on your kitchen table or put it on the refrigerator or, your front door, when you're going out, just a reminder. It doesn't mean you have to fill it in, but it's a reminder of, when you feel ready, and you got to feel ready to let some of this go and then look at it from the perspective of, okay, now that I've written this down, what is it that I need to learn from it? How can I grow from this? What is it trying to tell me?
Mm-hmm.
And even, and maybe share it with someone because sometimes somebody's, is out of it and they're not, into the mixture of it, can step back and go, well, did you look at it this way?
Right.
Have you thought about this? Or is there
Right.
something that maybe you want to do, but you think that maybe you're not, capable of doing? And so having like a cheerleader.
I like the cheerleader thing. Right. Right.
Yeah, and you can always, email it to me or take a picture, and of course, I'm always happy to, give you my 2 cents. Well, it's more like 10 cents.
That's it. Yeah. Inflation is terrible. Yeah, I hear you. So right. So the reminder then become, well, and again, especially if you do what this author is suggesting here, which you use the little fill in the blank kind of thing,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
really struggle with blank emotion, which might be telling me I need to strengthen my ability to a new skill or a new something action.
right.
I really like that last one. I struggle with perfectionism, which might be telling me I need to strengthen my ability to practice self-compassion.
Yes.
If you can have that in front of you, or maybe that now, so now we're going to take it from this author who may or may not know about our friend Louise Hay. And now we're going to take it to the next step. And maybe at the bottom of that, you can fill in another line to make it a positive affirmation in terms of what it is I'm doing or how I'm choosing to live
Right.
to work on this thing. To,
Right.
like, if I say I struggle with perfectionism, which might be telling me blah 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 blah, my ability to practice self-compassion, then you can say I choose to, or I am living in a way that, I am more caring of myself, or whatever that, however you choose to phrase it. I mean,
Right. And so what
obviously
did you,
what you do is up to you.
yeah, and what you just did was take time with yourself for yourself.
Right.
And you're supporting yourself, you're encouraging yourself. Perfectionism, I feel, is kind of projected onto us, like it has to be perfect,
Right.
you have to do it right. And how much pressure, especially as little kids, are because we don't understand that much when we're little, that when somebody says, well, they draw a picture, and they go, well, you could do this and do that. Well, you just took away their joy, their confidence that they made this really nice picture instead of just saying, wow, that's really good. You did a great job. It's like, well, you could have done this line and done that and that,
Right.
and then you shrink up and you go, well, why do anything, because I'm just going to get judged. And how many times do we judge ourselves?
Right. And I was thinking of that as you were talking about the example of a little kid. We
Yeah,
still do that. I
yeah.
still do that. I don't know if any, I can look for myself. It's like I play pickleball 2, 3 times a week, and I still, to this day, when I mess up a shot, I'm yelling at me. I can hear myself do it. Sometimes I do it out loud, and people are like, "Are you really mad?" I'm like, "No, I'm just pissed at myself," or what, or my partner, whoever I will be playing with, will be like, "Ooh, Ari." I'm like, "No, no, that I will never yell at someone I'm playing with. I'm yelling at me
And why are you yelling at you, your own best friend?
because I didn't make the shot that I wanted to make." And it's like, you're right. I am taking away the joy of playing the game that I love,
Yeah.
and I am judging myself for this one moment where I
Yes.
didn't make it exactly the way I wanted to make it. So there you go.
And
Who
how do
knew
you
we were going to have pickleball lessons today?
and how do you think your little boy feels that you're yelling at him?
Right. Not good.
No.
No. So there you go. You're right. I mean, yes, it's more about the supporting, the encouraging, the what, and the more we peel this darn thing apart, the more we peel this onion, the more we see that everything, it all connects. It
Yes.
all connects to everything.
Every.
Everything you do connects to everything you do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wearing myself out just thinking about it.
But look at the great points that have been brought up about
Of
it.
course.
And that's what's important is
Right.
stepping back and looking at that bigger picture.
And as the author finishes it for us, the big picture is this: emotional health is not about eliminating bad feelings or coping with them forever. It's about building emotional fitness, strengthening the psychological muscles that might be weak. Just like in the gym, that requires practice, patience, and some discomfort along the way, but it's also the only way to create lasting change. Relief is temporary, strength is sustainable.
I love that.
I know,
Love
right?
that.
And
Yes,
that
that's
that will
what it's
be
about. Mm.
that'll feature prominently in the show notes
Oh, definitely.
and on the Facebook post that goes with this. But it's
Yeah.
true. It's like
Yeah.
so much of our and I heard another podcaster the other day mention this, and it wasn't even about personal development or spirituality or anything like that, but it was basically about us doggone Americans are so addicted to our convenience and
Oh,
our ease of life that if
yes.
the stuff ever did hit the fan, we would be in big trouble
Yeah.
because we are we you know we bitch when there's two cars in front of us at Dunkin' Donuts, you know, at the
Oh,
drive-through. They're handing you coffee and a bagel, but no, I can't wait for you know. I'm just
did you watch me in line the other day?
I did not. I'm sorry. I wasn't in the car with you, but now I'm feeling
Oh,
it.
just tease.
Yes, we are.
Uh,
Just to rewind a little bit, we are addicted to our conveniences in life, and we
there
want
we
it
are.
all now. We want it all easy. We want it all painless.
Yeah.
And that's none of
Yeah.
those things are mentioned in this post. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, if there's a pain that you are experiencing, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, whatever,
Right?
that's not, you know, I mean, pain in that, so, you know, like if you, I don't know, if you know, if you cut yourself on something, that pain, okay, that pain is telling you, all right, you're bleeding here. You might want to take a look at that. All right, fine.
Yeah.
99.9 times out of 100, that's not what the pain is about when we're talking about emotional, mental, spiritual, whatever.
Right.
It's a signal light, like he said. It's a little flashing red light that's saying, "Hey,
Mm.
something's going on here, and you might want to take a look at it."
Yeah.
But
Yep.
the pain that you're feeling, that's the indicator light. That's like on your dashboard when the little change oil
Get,
light comes on.
yeah.
Yeah,
Get your attention.
exactly.
Absolutely. Yep.
Man, that's just I'm worn out today after all of this. I really, speaking of, we're talking about emotional strength training or whatever. You know,
Right.
I'm like, I feel like I've been worn out from this. It was. Wow, that's great. That's awesome.
Oh
Again,
boy.
again, emotional health is not, I'm gonna post this, but I'm gonna say
Yes.
it again. Emotional health is not about eliminating bad feelings or coping with them. Coping. You know, I'm just not going to think about that today.
Oh,
You might want to try.
you have
It's
to.
about building emotional fitness, strengthening the psychological muscles that might be weak. Just like in the gym, that requires patience, practice, a little bit of discomfort along the way, but it's also the only way to create lasting change. And I think
Yes.
that's the goal of the whole thing.
Yeah, that commitment to
Yep.
yourself for yourself.
Yep.
And by doing that, you're encouraging other people to do that. Now, if they do it or not, that's up to them, yet we're still offering them that gift. And that's what I feel, what I love doing with people is I offer information, I offer, ideas, I offer my experiences with the hopes that it'll help them and then they can, change their life and then help change somebody else's life.
There you go. Yeah, it's not complicated, but it does take a little bit of work. It
It's
does.
commitment.
Yeah,
It's
commitment. Good word.
yeah, commitment to yourself for yourself. And the bonus is that you're sharing it with other people. Now, what they, like I said, what they do with it, it's up to them, but we have done what we do for us and
Right.
offering it as a gift.
Right. Right. And again, I go back to that other podcaster, Tom something with a B, who said, can't, he says, I recognize even on his big podcast, which reaches millions of people, I can't save everybody. We can't save everybody, but we can save each other, meaning our group, our family, our tribe, our whatever. So yeah, we can do that.
Mhm.
And that's the part we do. And then, like you said, it spreads out. It ripples out.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna need another. I took a shower before this morning before the podcast. I'm gonna need another one now, I
I
think.
think so. It, it gets heated up here.
Oh, right. It is. It's getting warm. All right,
Good
no
way.
worries.
You know,
If
and I do, hope in a way that we are inspiring other people. So I feel that we are, and that's why I enjoy doing this so much and why I enjoy, helping people.
Right.
It lights me up. It's kind of, maybe a little, what do you call it? Self-motivated or
Sure.
doing it for me. But I love it, and I love seeing other people shift. It just lights me up like a light bulb. It's
That's
like,
the point.
ooh,
That's there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with being able to share that and also to make it something that helps you pay the bills. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, to me, that sounds like the best possible option. They always say, find a job you love. It's not work anymore.
Oh, no,
That's
it's
what you do.
passion. Mine is a
Some-
passion.
If somebody would like to get in touch with you and hear more about that and how you might be able to assist, how would we get in touch with you, please?
Call or text 239-248-0586 or email Vicki, VICKI, Wagoner, WAGONER, 53@gmail.com.
And yours
And
truly.
sir,
I knew that was coming. I knew it was. It's okay. If you would like, yours truly also with videos and other goodies to keep you safe with your gadgets and gizmos on the internet. That's hard to say. Avoid the scams of the internet. Go over to YouTube, do a search for Bill's iPhone Tips, and just do the hashtag thing, Bill's iPhone Tips, and you'll find my channel with my videos and stuff like that. So it's all good. Yes.
very good.
Thank you. I know every day there's a new scam out there. Every
Oh
day
my
there's something.
gosh, it's
I know. Be careful out there.
Yeah.
Never, ever, 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 never, ever send anybody money or anything like that. I mean, unless it's grandma or your kids at college or something like that. So, and you know who it is. So.
Yes. I actually before we got on here, I got a phone number and it said, can we chat? And I'm like,
oh yeah,
who is this?
Oh, you're surprised by that? I get 2 or 3 text messages a day.
Oh.
My favorite is, I just saw your name in my contact list. How do I know you? And I'm like, you don't, you scammer, you. So if it's somebody I don't know, I delete it. And I also mark it as spam. And that way it doesn't,
Yes, that's what I do too. Yep. Delete.
Go check Bill's iPhone Tips for more useful information, just like that.
Yes, and that's very important because, oh boy, it can be scary.
It is. It pretty much is. Yeah. So be careful out there, folks. In everything, be careful, but have fun at the same time. So
yes. So and I hope everybody had fun today with us too, and every time that they tune in. So because I really enjoy this, and I'm like I say, I love influencing other people, and hopefully, and inspiring. So
there you go. There you go. Thanks again for joining us, everybody. We do appreciate it. We really do. If you have enjoyed this, stop by the Facebook page, do a search for the Practical Path podcast. Leave your questions and, of course, leave your reviews wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, iHeart Music, all of that stuff. We're everywhere. So until then, we will appreciate you. We'll see you next week. Thanks again for joining us. I'm Bill Sklodowski.
And I'm Vicki Wagner, and thank you for joining us. And again, remember to always be your own best friend.